Would you like to be somebody who understands what a corrupted and an uncorrupted soul is, in my eyes at least? Then listen to this entire video where I explain the key difference between the two and how one can find a sweet spot in life, which I call gradual pain exposure, which allows you to take advantage of the benefits of a corrupted and an uncorrupted soul. But I'll explain that in this video. So before we get into it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Let's get into it. So, in my eyes, I've been thinking a fair amount about this. There are some people in life who behave in very unpredictable, volatile ways. And I would call these people corrupted souls. They have a corrupted soul. Now, people tend not to like to be around these people because they are unpredictable. And the reason they are unpredictable is because they have been deeply hurt. And then when they are exposed to a certain stimuli in their environment, they sort of autonomously get poked in the wound by this stimuli, and then that triggers some sort of reaction in them, which makes them behave in a way that you have never experienced or seen before in this person. And it tends to be an uncomfortable reaction that they sort of create, or that they come up with them. Now, they're essentially trying to defend their wounds through different mechanisms, through like egos, certain arrogance, and other kind of mechanisms. And people tend to desire to be surrounded by people who they can trust. And trust has a lot to do with understanding how somebody is going to react or how somebody is going to behave, being able to predict it. Because you sort of build a sort of maybe an unspoken contract with the person that, I'm going to behave like this, you're going to behave like this, and I expect you to behave like this, and I trust you that you're going to behave like this. Now, if somebody has a corrupted soul, they will behave in volatile ways, and you will sort of unconsciously realize that you cannot really trust them very well because they have such darkness within them, or like, I don't want to say bones in the closet, but deep wounds, that can spark these unwanted behaviors. Yeah. So you prefer a trustworthy and predictable person. Now, so the key here is that a corrupted soul is one that has been deeply hurt. But the word corrupted is not quite adequate. It fits in some way because the corrupted person's behavior might be like offensive, volatile, and sort of aggressive, like belligerent. For example, if a kid grew up in a poverty-stricken neighborhood and they didn't have much food when they were young, and they were always, a kid wants to survive, instinctually, so it always wants food, and then when it grows up, it tends to hoard food and doesn't like the person grew up and doesn't like to share their food, and some people might interpret that as mean or greedy or selfish, but when actually it's the manifestation of a deep wound that they have, which was inflicted upon them in their childhood. So a corrupted soul is really a hurt soul, and that leads to hurting others. Hurt people. Hence the word corrupted doesn't do the phenomenon of these hurt people justice, because the word implies that the person's corruption is their own fault, like the degree to which but like when really the corruption is actually very often, I think, a consequence of their circumstances, which aren't really the person's responsibility. For example, a lot of people experience trauma as kids, and a kid rarely brings pain upon itself, at least not intentionally. It is usually afflicted upon a child by the people around it, usually by the grown-ups or the older, more conscious individuals in the kid's life. So you can't really say the corrupted soul it's the responsibility of itself. That's not accurate. Now, the conundrum that really puzzles me is the difference between a corrupted and uncorrupted person's ability to face and overcome the struggles in life. So an uncorrupted person, I would say, is somebody who does not have these deep wounds, who does not experience these, let's say, traumas, or these like defense of traumas, let's say. The protection of these deep emotional wounds. That's an uncorrupted person. Now, what I really don't understand is, because some people who are corrupted and some people who are uncorrupted have very different abilities to take on the challenges of life, the struggles of life. Because some corrupted people eventually transcend their pain, and these people turn out to be very wise and strong. Like they fix their wound, and they essentially come out on the other side of this process as twice as strong, twice the person, a more tolerant, a more wise, stronger personality. And we gravitate towards these people as if they are leaders, you know. They project this life wisdom which is so attractive to us. And however, the reason that they have this wisdom is because of the painful experiences they went through. Now, an uncorrupted soul, so someone who has not been deeply wounded in life, typically seems less resilient on average, or they do not possess this rich life wisdom. I might be wrong because this is just a judgment from my side, which simply I have observed in my experiences, so it might be incorrect. So the question that arises is then, would you want to have, like, you would obviously want to have this life wisdom because it helps you live your own life in a more meaningful way, and it helps the people around you. And when I say in a more meaningful life, I mean, I think you experience life at a deeper level, at a level of sort of higher resolution, more intensely, more vividly, more authentically, just better in general. Like it's more vigorous, more you live life to a high degree, let's say. Let's just put it at that. So would you need to set up your life then to get hurt and wounded and consequently have a corrupted soul? That doesn't seem quite right to me, because you would need to fix the wounds then, the corruption in your soul, and there is no guarantee that you actually fix it, because there are a lot of people with corrupted souls who never transcend their pain. Their pain lies deeply rooted and never heals for the rest of their lifespan. So this is obviously a very complex topic, and I do not know the quite answer to this question of whether you should corrupt yourself or not, intentionally. But I think one way to go around it is this sweet spot, which I call gradual pain exposure, where you slowly get exposed to the suffering in life. And this would prevent the infliction of deep wounds by sudden trauma that would corrupt your soul. Instead, you have this gradual growth, this gradual exposure to pain. But this enables you to build a resilience to the suffering of life and the skill of overcoming challenges in a sort of at a healthy rate, Because, life is suffering. A large part of it is everybody experiences obstacles in life. Like, it's an inherent aspect of life. You don't really get to choose it. It's simply a question of when it happens to you, Everybody has one severe low point in their life, as people say. So I think the solution would be to gradual pain exposure, which prevents you from getting deeply wounded, so you're not corrupted, but you still have the ability to build this resilience slowly in a healthy way, because I do think people have an average ability to a pain capacity. Like, if they get exposed to so much pain, then the threshold for corruption is triggered and the corruption occurs, because the pain is so immense that it corrupts them. So they have a threshold, a capacity. But if you always stay underneath that capacity, you can still build this resilience without snapping the person, let's say, snapping the soul and corrupting it. But in my next video, I will go into more depth on what practically gradual pain exposure would look like, and because it's quite a vague concept, but it needs a video for it to be explained properly. So please leave a comment below. Oh no, first let me conclude. So in conclusion, a corrupted soul is one that has been deeply hurt and hence has a wound and obviously tries to protect the wound because it's so painful if it gets poked, and that can happen through egos, arrogance, other mechanisms, or also just you have this wound, this flame that is there, and if somebody touches it, or you go into a certain stimuli, reaches in and by accident touches it, then you behave in like an instinctual, like unconscious, autonomous way, which will be volatile and unpredictable to the people around you, and that might make you untrustworthy or uncomfortable to be around, because people do not understand how you tick, let's say, because you don't understand it really yourself even, maybe. And an uncorrupted soul is one that hasn't been so deeply wounded. And I think the soft spot, because they have benefits, both of them, on the one hand, you get corrupted, but you have the ability to transcend it and have access to deep, meaningful wisdom in life. And on the other hand, if you're uncorrupted, you don't have that pain inside of you, but then you have less access, I think, to that wisdom in life. So if one finds a sweet spot, which I call gradual pain exposure, you can get the benefits of both of them without, let's say, the downsides of both of them, potentially. So please leave a comment below what do you think about my concept of a corrupted soul, whether you agree with it, or whether you think it is, obviously it might be the wrong word, a corrupted soul, but whether you've observed this phenomenon in life itself of a corrupted soul, a corrupted person, because you do see it frequently, and most people around me, I think, are more uncorrupted than corrupted, and I do observe corrupted people like they are very, like they're just less open, or they're sort of they're hiding something almost, and that's, you don't like that, because you cannot see through them, and you don't understand them properly, hence you can't predict the way they'll behave, let's say, and that's anxiety provoking, I would say. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Thank you for listening.